Okay.
So umeanza.
Good evening, Kenyans. Good evening, wherever you are. Whatever time it is from where you are watching us this evening, we are live. We are sorry for the technical in. Good evening, Kenyans. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, good evening, good morning. Yeah, we are very sorry. We are a little bit late, but we are going to start now. Yeah, receive our greetings from Kenya, Kisii County. And my name is Rose Festus. I'm a mother and I'm a wife. And I support HIV care and treatment. Majorly, I deal with adherence. Yeah, today is another day, another Friday that we promised that we will be here. And here I have my colleague. He's going to introduce himself. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are just correcting some technical hitch, but thank you again for joining us. We really want to appreciate the fact that you supported us till this far. I'm still Spam Maloli. I've not changed my identity, but for the sake of our new viewers, I'm also working in Kisii County. I'm supporting adherence, looking at retention and viral load suppression. We work together with Ross. I'm equally a parent. I'm married also. So I think that information has to be made clear. So thank you so much for joining us. We will take about 3 minutes also, even as we are inviting other people to join. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Rose, for giving me this opportunity. I think we are set to go.
Thank you so much, Spam. I want to invite all our viewers, and I want to tell you that feel free in this discussion. It's for all of us. And I just want to bring to our attention that we say that we are Heroes Voices Corner, and this one carry all of us. Yeah, so we are heroes, we are champions, and we want to thank those who have already tuned in. We are asking everybody to tune in for this discussion this evening. And yes, Pam, so today we are going to just do a recap of what we discussed last week.
Yes.
And we hope that our viewers are still remembering a little bit of what we discussed. So before we go to our main topic for today, just a recap of what we did last week, which was diagnosis. Yes, Pam.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Daniel from Getembe. Thank you so much for being part of us.
Yes.
When we started, ideally we introduced what HIV is. We went ahead and talked about modes of transmission. Mm-hmm. We defined certain terms. We talked about AIDS. We talked about a few symptoms that somebody would present. But again, we made it very clear that having the symptoms is not a clear diagnosis, which took us to HIV diagnosis, which we discussed last week. We talked about the available tests in the public, both for children and
adults.
And adults.
Yes.
We talked about there was so much about diagnosis. We talked about the myths. We talked about when to test. We talked about the importance of knowing your status. We talked about safety in testing, where we basically measured on confidentiality. We talked about some other forms of reaching out the public, the family and partner testing, partner notification services.
Yes.
We talked about social network services. Then we said this process is simple, it is client-centered, it is confidential. We covered a lot, and we gained a lot of knowledge. We talked about window period. And the only thing that I would want, the only thing I would want to remind our viewers today is the definition about about diagnosis, and we defined it this way: that is an aspect of holistically understanding the client, along with testing, interviews, and other measures to assist in developing an accurate treatment or an accurate treatment plan. And we said that any diagnosis without a reason, any diagnosis without a goal, it might not be diagnosis. That one brought us to a few questions. We may, sorry again for coming in late. We may want to compete with time, but thank you so much for accepting.
Yes.
That one brought us to a
Thank
few...
you, Festus, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Who is this?
Wow, Sami from Marsabit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sami.
Welcome. Feel most welcome. Yes.
Yes, this one brought us to a few questions that we needed to seek clarity before we talked about what we had planned for the day. And somebody asked, when you talk about body contact, wanted us to give some clarity. What body contact are we talking about? And gave an example of maybe a university student or some people going around maybe posting that they got pregnant while swimming. Or I think she hinted that can it be possible that the same can happen with HIV? And I think at that point, Rose, you may want to support us, and maybe just to get clarity on that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Spam. We want to thank you, our viewers. What we are doing right now is just we went through your concerns, your questions, and that is what we want to tackle before we go direct to our topic for today. And we had Roslida, all the way from US, was very concerned about HIV and body contact. We explained it that when I was saying that it's body to body, then maybe somehow you could misunderstand that, but I was saying this body to body was related to sexual intercourse. Having sexual intercourse with unprotected sex with an infected person. So that is what I meant by saying body to body. So about this issue of students swimming and somebody saying that I got pregnant, that is a little bit funny, unless maybe they were having sex in the swimming pool, and having sex with somebody who is infected and not having proper treatment. So the person has not suppressed the virus. So maybe I think now you are getting what I meant by body to body. It's just having sexual intercourse.
We even added the definition, and I remember when we were talking about sexual intercourse, I asked, is it wrong to have sex when you're HIV positive? And the answer is basically no. What you're talking about is safe sex, and safe sex, in my own understanding, doesn't mean that you must use a condom. But what are we talking about when you're HIV positive? I think you have one role. You have a target to accomplish. You have a goal to really accomplish. The moment you reach that goal, trust me, your life will be very smooth. You won't have a lot of hitches. You only have a role, or you have a responsibility of suppressing the virus. Because even when you're talking about unprotected sex, some information must come out clearly that it is unprotected sex with somebody who is HIV infected, and these are the conditions. This person is not on medication, or is on medication but is not taking medication properly, or this person is on medication and he or she is not virally suppressed. So we have to be very clear. It has to be unprotected sex, it has to be a dangerous sex, it has to be unsafe sex with somebody who is infected. And this person is not on medication, or is on medication and is not taking medication properly, which sends another signal to partners of guys that are HIV positive or guys that are living with HIV. It's also your responsibility to protect your partner. Is your responsibility to help your partner to do what? To suppress the virus. And I think through that, we'll be in a position to protect the entire family and other people. The other question that was coming in was male or men involvement in the prevention of mother-to-child transmission. This is basically male going to the clinic. It is slightly hard for a man just to walk into an MCH clinic or a maternal health clinic
Yeah.
But what are we doing, or what does the government do, or different facilities or different organizations? I would give an example of an organization that I know, Ngima for sure, that is from Siaya. They came up with a process of appreciating men who are coming to the clinic. I think they even wrote a paper on the same. And if a man, or if you see a male figure in the clinic line, the best they used to do is to
appreciate them,
to appreciate and to give them chance to be seen first,
yes,
in a way, and just to take them through the health education, because men, they have a poor health seeking behavior. So there's a way of appreciating these people that are escorting their partners. That is what the government has done and different organizations have done. There's a way of also sending messages. You can be invited, and kindly for men, if you are invited to come to the clinic, it is not a death sentence.
Yeah, actually it is not.
And when we were talking about diagnosis, we basically tackled testing, and we said it is not a must thing. It is a voluntarily process.
Exactly.
And we talked about the pre-test counseling, the testing itself, and the post-test counseling, where now you are receiving your result. But even before you go towards the process of even having the test in the first place, somebody has to give you information and decide whether to test or not. So let us support our partners as they are going to the clinic, because we also say that knowing your status is also protecting the unborn. Something about my spouse tested negative.
Yeah.
And now I think
I am also negative.
Yes.
Yeah, some people have that mentality that once your partner has tested negative, you also feel that you are negative, of which to me I think is a bad mentality, because each and every person, as we said, that you should go for tests individually.
But
and
let me ask you.
Yeah.
This is my partner. We've been sleeping together all through. She's negative. Really, why should I worry about my status?
Yeah, you should worry about your status, because you are you and your partner is your partner.
And I'm sleeping with my partner.
You are sleeping with your partner. And
without
that one does not bury, that one does not bury you from going for tests. Because as we learned earlier last week, that going for tests is very important.
It is.
Yeah, it is very important, because it helps you also to know. Even if you go and you find yourself that you are negative, it's well and good. And because the reason as to why I'm not supporting that when you get a negative result, as my partner, I should also say that I am negative, because in the real sense we found discordant partner, and they are sleeping they are having sex. They are having unprotected sex.
Yet they are still discordant.
And yet they are still discordant.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so the question is, how did that person become discordant?
And having talked about widow period in our last episode, that is also clear. You could be negative today, yet you're not negative. The other thing about a partner's result is we also said that you could be faithful to the virus itself. It's about your day. And it doesn't mean that if today remember, we even said that if your viral is suppressed, at times it's even very difficult to infect the other party. So I could be positive, yes, and my partner is negative, based on the viral load suppression. So in short, what you're saying is your results are your results, they are your personal results, and that's why we talk about correct result. Whether negative or positive, they are yours. And that's why you're supposed to go a process, a diagnosis process, a testing process. Thank you so much. Somebody also asked last time that I'm told that immediately I test, my partner will be made aware of your HIV status. Yes.
That is not very right in the health facility.
Yes.
Actually, we don't do that. Once you are tested positive, it is confidential, because that is why last week we were talking about safety in testing, remember, and we mentioned these 5 C's, which were confidentiality. So then you are taken through counseling and then consent, correct results. So once your partner has gone for testing and the result turns positive, we are not allowed to reveal
disclose your status.
Yeah,
to
reveal
somebody.
your status to your partner. It is confidential, and until you alone
Give consent.
give
And
consent.
in most cases, you'll be supported to give all that information.
Yeah, you will be
unless
supported.
you're not in a position to
Yeah.
give that information.
And you can only be supported when you are not in a position, maybe
Exactly.
because of some other things that we are going to see
Underlying
as
conditions.
we are continuing with our discussion.
So thank you. So it's clear that your partner's results are not going to be shared. Rather, your status are not going to be shared to your partners. And I think at this point, we may want to still revisit what we call the safety in testing, where we talked about the confidentiality and we talked about the 5 C's. And to add on that, in that room that you go to receive your test, I think there's a certificate on the wall. I think every tester should be should be displaying their certificates.
Yeah,
if I'm not very wrong. You may need to confirm where you're testing. Kindly, it is not wrong to ask whoever is testing you, who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Because I think there's the part of introduction.
Exactly.
And during introduction, even the tester has to tell you the roles.
Yeah.
And your roles has to be very clear. So it's good to initiate a process that you know is beneficial to you. We are not sending doubts, but we are saying that testers are accredited, and it's not wrong just to confirm that. Another question that was coming out, Rose, was about the availability of self-tests. I think I'll go first on this. It is there. It was rolled out. They are available. I know there are issues of stock of stock out issues. It's about procurement issues, but I want you to know that they are all over. Even there are some accredited chemists that are selling them. So this test is out, so please, you can still go for it. It is safe, but get enough information. Get enough information and get to know about the process itself. Prepare for the results even before you go test, and don't use it maliciously. Because I've seen a case whereby I want to have sex with somebody. Thank you so much. I want to have sex with somebody, but I don't want to. It's like I've coerced a test. It's like I'm testing you without your consent. And the reason why I'm testing is so that I see whether I'm entering a safe place or not a safe place. Please take care that we talked about window period. Take care that we talked about safety in testing. Take care and take note that we talked about confidentiality. There's a lot of confidentiality that is needed, and please don't use it maliciously. Please get the right information and do the right thing. I don't trust my result. I got exposed recently, but I tested negative. Wow. I got exposed tonight, and like tomorrow I go test. My test is negative. I think we talked about this also.
We talked about that last week, when I was giving example that you just had safe sex yesterday night, and maybe in the morning you are coming to the facility to know your status. So just as we said that when you come that time, maybe the virus has not been manifested in your body. So you come and you get the result negative. That's why the window period was coming in, that you test and you don't get the maybe you are expecting, somebody, you might be having unsafe sex with somebody, and then you have your own doubts, your anxiety, that brings you to the facility to get the test. So, and then the result comes negative, and then you say it's okay. So that is when we were bringing in the window period.
The issue of window period.
The issue of window period. Go home and maybe take 3 months and then come to
and then come back.
But come back to the facility.
Why should I wait somebody was asking again that I can't go and wait for 3 months then come back and test. I think we introduced what we call PEP at that moment, and we said we are not going to talk about PEP so much because we'll be talking about it under treatment, and then we are talking about prevention and even adherence. But just to mention, if you test negative today and you're recently exposed, that is in between 72 hours, still there is still need to take precaution. There's what we call post-exposure prophylaxis, which you should be given, and talk to your health provider about the same. At times it's good to have knowledge and to have the right knowledge. If you're this person who keeps on exposing him or herself, there's another way out where you can do condoms. At the same time, there's what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Yeah.
That is PrEP. As somebody is saying that we are not able to get the sound, it is on and off. Kindly let us know whether we are back. I know we had an issue with the network.
Yeah.
But
just let us know when we are back.
Stable.
Yeah, because where we are, we have issues of network.
Yes.
And that one is beyond us. Yeah, but if you are able to hear us, if we are lost, just let us know. Yeah.
Yes, you can just comment. We'll see it. Just comment if we have sound. Kindly, if we don't have sound, we need to rethink again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Weekly, for tuning in. Thank you for our viewers who have already tuned in. So, Spam, maybe in summary, I would just want to let our viewers know that test is very important. Going for tests to know your HIV, to know your status is very important, just as we learned last time, especially for pregnant women. It is
for pregnant women, yes. Sorry.
It is it's a way of prevention from mother to child transmission, and again seeking treatment in time. When you go for test in time, that one is it means that you are looking to live longer life.
Yes,
because already you shall have known your status. If you are HIV positive or negative, you will know your life, and then it will also help you set your priorities and protect your family and partners. So and then be ensured that when you go to the facility to know your status, it's very safe. There is nobody there who is ready to reveal your status without your consent.
And it's the only way into treatment. That is the only way into treatment. You cannot enter treatment, or you cannot enter a treatment plan, or you cannot receive any service HIV based without a test. So that is the only entry point. And no one does spot diagnosis that we talked about. No one uses the symptoms. So kindly, it is important that you go and test. Now that we've talked about testing, it is quite important to talk about this status, having it known into the public. If there is need to do so, or there is no need to do so. Now that the questions of my status will be made known to my partners, my status will be made known to my boss, my status will be made known to my children and all that. People will know that I'm positive. We want to talk about this now. And we want to introduce a topic called disclosure. And at that point, I want to request Rose just to give us I don't know whether to just help us understand what disclosure is.
Thank you so much, Spam. Disclosure. I don't know how you, as your viewer, understand it, but we are together in this discussion.
But again, you could be doing your definition also.
You could be doing your definition, and kindly we would
just
love
to
see your definition there. Because Spam, disclosure. For me, maybe before I go there, I understand it like it is an ongoing process and not one-time event. So it is a process of revealing a person's HIV status. Because this is disclosure in related to HIV. Today we just want to talk about disclosure in related to HIV, or of HIV. So it is a process. It is an ongoing process. It is not one-time event. It is not something that you can do at once. It is a process. Just revealing one status, one HIV status. Whether something is coming into my mind again, whether positive or negative. Because sometimes you've gone to the facility to seek for test, HIV test, and then it comes negative. So I will come to you maybe as my partner or a friend, and I'll tell you that I tested negative. Or I tested positive. So it's a process. is a process of informing
Yes.
a partner or a friend or someone. Yeah, I don't know whether they are
I picked something, a process,
yeah.
and I think we can put that process into a parking lot. That it is a process.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is a process.
It is a process.
Because I want to imagine.
And you know, process, underline process, it is not something that is done
Automatic.
one time.
Yes.
It
It
is
is not a real time.
yeah.
Okay, it is not a one-time thing.
Actually.
It is a process. It's a step-by-step activity. My own understanding of it, I want to borrow the word process and use it kindly if you don't mind.
Yeah,
so it's a
just
process
do it.
of, I won't really talk about HIV, but I want to talk about disclosure the way it is.
Yeah.
It's a process of revealing one's secrets or an information that is only known to me or a new information.
Actually.
For instance, today here, let me say you've undergone a diagnosis or you're applying for maybe a scholarship.
Yeah.
And I'm the only person who knows that that scholarship of yours is approved. I don't know whether that would be disclosing that information, you're sharing a good news or giving a surprise. But it's a process of making an information that is only known maybe to you or to a smaller group of people or a new information getting known to a person. So now when you narrow down to HIV, now that that is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Somebody is just commenting on something. Maybe Sammy, thank you so much. But again, I want you to talk about. Give us your definition, Sandra. Thank you so much.
Sandra
Otete.
Tete, thank you so much, my colleague, for tuning in. We are happy to see you.
So this is a process of letting an important information, in this case is your HIV status, an information that you consider secret.
It is secret.
An information that you really consider personal. But based on certain needs, based on certain requirements, you're not really forced, but you're personally, it's come within you, you're propelled kind of within
voluntary.
You. Exactly. To let this information out. And letting this information out to who is equally very important. I think that is what will take us to the process now of disclosing your own HIV status. But this is a well-channeled process. It is an initiative that will take a bit of time. And so don't get worried today now that I've tested. You guys talked about testing yesterday, or you talked about testing last week. I've tested. I'm positive. Now I want to tell everybody my status. How do I even share with my spouse? Kindly just get to know that it's a process. It's a slow thing.
It is not one-time event.
It is not one time, and which will take us to the levels of disclosure. For you to understand that this thing is a process, there are levels that it takes. There are levels. And maybe you would want to...
Before we go to the level, maybe I would want to say again that HIV status is usually disclosed voluntarily. Yes, my colleague Spema said, this is by index person. Index person is, for example, it's me, right? But it can be revealed by others without the index person consent. That one also...
Before we go to levels, now that you mentioned something about the forms, or the forms of disclosure, I think that is basically what you're talking about. There's what we call the voluntarily way of doing it, where the owner of the information or the index client in this case is fully aware, has the knowledge, and consent has been given that hey, disclose my status, or I want to disclose my status, or he or she does it on his own or on her own. Then there is another type that we call involuntarily, where it is now kind of a must, or it is a requirement that before this and this happens, then there is need to disclose your status. I think this would really fall into the corridors of justice. A court order has been given. There's a medical requirement that has been given. But still, even with all this, somebody has to be informed that hey, based on this and this and this, there is need for you to talk about your information, or there is need for so and so to know about your information. I don't want to dwell on that because those are few cases. Those are very minute cases. They are never into the public so much.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about the safety of you disclosing your status, and we'll talk about the voluntarily way of doing it. And under voluntarily way of doing it again, Rose, this can be done by self.
Yeah.
As a form,
Exactly.
I can decide to disclose my status. And this, in most cases, it happens where, let's say I have a partner.
Yeah.
I just want to disclose my status to
that partner.
To that partner. Then we have another form of which we call the assisted disclosure, where I really want to talk about my status with my partner or my child, or I want to tell my child that, hey, you are born with HIV.
Yeah.
Then it's a difficult thing.
It's a difficult process.
You may need support, and that is what we call the assisted. And in this case, it's a health provider assisting you to do what? To do the same disclosure to that child.
Yeah.
This can be, there are considerations to be made when we are talking about assisted. There's the environment itself, and there's the age barrier that you need to look at.
Exactly.
Then there's the need of doing the same, and the consent from the index client.
Exactly.
And the other one is accidental. So accidental in most cases falls under involuntary. It is not really what you want, but all of a sudden your status has come out and there's nothing you can do about it. So it is not basically voluntarily, it is involuntarily, where you don't give consent, but it has been done.
Exactly.
I want to give an example of, let's say you walked into a clinic and let's say you've walked into a clinic and you met your neighbor.
Thank you so much, Roslido Barry, for tuning in all the way from US. Yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you, Roslida. We are coming to that. Thank you so much for that wonderful question.
Yeah.
You've seen maybe a colleague, you've seen maybe a partner in a clinic. Then you go ahead and talk about that, hey, I saw so and so taking ARVs. You see, at that case, honestly, I don't know whether that is accidental or what. There are other cases whereby a child, in most cases accidental happens to children, where they've been taking medication all alone, and one day in the clinic, they attend maybe the psychosocial support groups, and whoever is taking them through the process is busy talking about HIV here and there, and you know, in a way it builds into your mind that, hey, these people are talking about me.
Yeah.
You know, that was not channeled, it was not planned, no one planned for the same, and that is accidental disclosure. So accidental, you didn't plan for it, but all of a sudden it is out.
Yeah.
So how you go about it, how you go about accidental disclosure?
Also, before you talk about how you go about it, spam, about the accidental disclosure, sometimes we have clients who are coming to the clinic or to the hospital when they are down sick, very sick here, and their the test has been done and the result has become positive, and you see, you come with your people, your family, your what you say, you don't,
which will take us back to testing. How do you even
you know,
wow.
Okay, in majorly sometimes when somebody is very sick, spam, and that you are unconscious maybe, and you are tested and the result comes positive, and maybe there was no any other disease that is sickling you or making you sick to the extent of that admission, maybe because you HIV infected and you didn't take precautions, and now your immune system has gone down, your CD4 has been affected, and now you are sick. You contacted the opportunistic diseases, and you are down, you are sick. So we were talking about accidental, don't forget.
I won't forget
and
about
maybe I come and, for example, myself, I am brought to the hospital by my partner or my family, and the test is done and I turn positive. So accidentally they will inform my family my condition. So at least from that point is when they together with the health providers, they will know how to begin the treatment, or you are thinking hard? What
no,
are you?
I'm really thinking because you've taken me back to when to test. And I remember when we started, we talked about the test itself, not an emergency, or seeking treatment after you've known your HIV status might not be an emergency. Now I'm looking at this person that has come bedridden or is down or she's down. Are there hopes of this person waking up? Are there hopes of this person coming back to the normal state of life?
Maybe that one you cannot judge.
If you cannot judge, just want to imagine. But then we are talking about accidental, where you just make your own assumptions.
Exactly.
Like this person is down, needs medication and all that and all that and all that and all that and all that. Now, I'm admitted today. At day 3, I'm stable. Right?
Yeah.
I was started on medication. What happens if you only come, or I'm admitted even for a month or 2? What happens when you just realize that, hey, I've been on medication and I've never disclosed my status? What happens at that point? Are you seeing? You know, wow, disclosure. Honestly, I think I'm not talking to a healthcare provider. Please consider that. Consider that before you disclose somebody's status. It is important to rule out a lot of things. If you know very well, I don't know if people are in a position to know whether I'm dying or not, but if I'm dying after 3 days, why do you want to disclose my
Why
status?
do you want to disclose?
And if I'm not dying, I'll still get medication. Why do you want to disclose? Unless, and that one takes us back to Rosalida, you asked, maybe an example of a court order where somebody would want to maybe know your status. Number one, a court would even demand a test and result to be presented. Let's look at maybe rape cases, or basically let's use rape. If I'm convicted, I can be forced, or somebody or the health team can be forced to run a test and present the same status to the judge or to the court. I've not given consent even for the testing itself, but again, based on the law, based on so many things that maybe may require my test result, my status would be disclosed. Another example is when you want to enter maybe treatment, when you want to enter care. At that point, it is involuntarily. Somebody else, we talked about the shared confidentiality at that point. You might think that your confidentiality has been shaken, but it has not been shaken. In the past years, we talked about immigration. I know people are still asking those questions, whether they still exist, that before you travel abroad, your status has to be...
I think those things still exist, Spam.
I'm not sure.
Just recently, I got myself into that.
Yes.
Wanted to travel to abroad and, wanted to know the status. So it's like when you go to the embassy or something, they will have to know your status, even without your consent.
Thank you so much, Rose. I think we've answered that. Ideally, that was my take too. We were just discussing the same. It is important for people to be patient enough with with others' status. So kindly, if today you are tested or any health care outside there that is really, it is never an emergency, please handle the opportunistic infection, handle the accident, handle what has brought the client. Ideally, Maki, get to know this, that this client never came for that test. So we should not base our argument there. But again, if you find the need of this person getting to know their status, or somebody else getting to know their status, I know there are nurses, I know there are people that are in that ward that I know can give those medication without disclosing somebody's status, unless otherwise, and this must be discussed and must be agreed upon. But for an adult that has, whether you're dying the next day or not, please, I don't think
it is not right to just disclose somebody's. So yes, then.
Yes. Thank you. We talked about self-assisted and accidental, and for that reason, we want to talk about the levels. Really, we want to reach about the levels of disclosure.
And have we talked about the process?
We'll talk about the process after we look we looked at the levels.
All right.
At what levels do we consider, or at what level do we give, do we say that this is this kind of disclosure, this is this kind of disclosure? I'll talk about none. There's what we call non-disclosure, where somebody has not been given any information, or somebody has not let out any information. Been given any information, I'm referring to maybe children or pediatrics.
Yeah.
And this is basically based on age requirement. Maybe their age is not really.
It's not really in the position of.
Yes, they are not in the position
knowing actually
to interpret what you're telling them.
Exactly.
To really accept what you're telling them, or the information that you want to give may not make sense to them completely. So I think that is clear. That is where you don't give any information to the child, or you as a partner, you're not giving any information to your partner, or you're not giving any information to. No information is none. But that doesn't mean. By the way, when you talk about non-disclosure, this could be that maybe you tested. There's somebody who tested you, knows about your status, and because they're not entitled to talk about your status anywhere, it is still non-disclosure. Because to them is like that is somebody who has tested you. How would you even know about your status? If you get a self-test, stay with you that has tested that status. You know your status and you've not let it known to anybody completely. Anybody. The language there has nothing to do with the HIV, and that is the state.
Exactly.
So you know about your status, somebody who tested you forgotten about you, or knows about you and keeps on reminding you about coming to treatment and all that. And I know there are things that would make you to have what we call non-disclosure issues. And maybe just to give an example of maybe the fear of gender-based violence issue, the fear of rejection, anxiety,
discrimination,
exactly.
Stigma,
You've not received enough information. You've not gone through what we call treatment literacy. So you don't have the right knowledge. You don't have the right materials to do disclosure. It is okay to be at that level, but again we'll discuss whether it is okay to remain at that level or not. And again, maybe to talk about. And basically, we'll talk about children when we come to that point. We'll have time and discuss about that.
Yeah.
And that one will take us to what we call partial.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I think you're in a position to.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Spam. Partial disclosure. For example, this is a state whereby you, as the index person, just telling some. Let's say, just informing. You're just informing your partner or your family about some illness.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think if partial now you are telling is it now you are telling the truth, or you are just talking about some
kind of
information.
Introducing an information.
Yeah,
kind of sugarcoating.
Yeah, just telling them, maybe for example, I've been tested positive, and then it is. To me, it is beating about the bush.
Kind of.
You are not telling the truth.
And it is very difficult when it's about adult.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a child, it becomes so easy.
Yeah.
Because for a child, we'll basically talk about the language used, which will make it partial.
Exactly.
For instance, if you're my child today, and I'm, hey, how are you? There's something I want to talk to you about. You know, when you're born, you're born with some germs.
Yeah.
And these germs, when you don't take these medications now, they will make you get sick.
Yeah. And
you see these germs,
exactly.
they keep on killing your soldiers in the body.
Exactly.
So taking these drugs gives you more energy, and you become like KDF soldiers.
Yeah, and
then
you know what, Spam? That has reminded me of something. Like, okay, a child who is HIV positive, a child who has been born with HIV.
Yes.
You know, they take drugs without their knowledge.
Exactly.
They don't know the reason as to why they are taking that medication. And now when they come to a point that they ask their parent, maybe their mother, why me every day?
Yes.
Yeah, because my neighbors, when I go to school, I don't see them taking this medication, and then you begin lying to that child.
Wow.
Yeah, you are beginning telling that person some information about illness. You can even decide to guess a very, very critical illness,
Yes.
telling your child
Yeah.
that you have a heart disease.
Yes.
You see, and the doctor said if you don't take this
You will die.
medication, you will die. So you are in that case you are not telling the exact thing.
Yes.
That is partial disclosure. You are
But
lying.
wait.
You are just giving some information.
But wait,
Yeah.
that is apparent. And you've really brought it out as the same way a parent would really do it.
Yeah.
But the parent would talk about a heart disease. A parent would basically talk about maybe even kidney failure. You see, they look at a big name.
A big name.
And talk
To
about
encourage this
But
child
let me
to
tell you,
continue with medication.
the funny thing is you're not encouraging this child.
Yeah,
Because
you're
one
not.
day they will come to learn that they don't have.
The heart disease or heart failure, whatever.
How I wish we reach about talking about the process of. I want to reach there so that we get to know how important disclosure sometimes is to certain age group. So when you're talking about partial, you're giving information that kindly let it be an information that can be built on. If you talk about maybe say the same way you brought it out as a parent and you've talked about a heart disease, can you build on the heart disease in the future? You may not, because if they realize that they don't have that heart disease,
it will be very difficult.
it will be very difficult for them to take this medication because this medication were meant for a heart disease which I don't have. So you're giving an information that you can build on in future. You're talking about a language that a child will understand. Don't talk about HIV, don't talk about virus, don't talk about AIDS, don't talk about ARVs. They might not make sense. Even the age, and the age that you're talking about here is probably maybe as from age 5 to about 9, where you're doing partial disclosure. You're talking about, hey my daughter, uko na germs kwa mwili itakuletea ugonjwa, unajua usipomeza hizi dawa. And again,
you will die.
Don't talk of things of usipomeza dawa utakufa.
Don't mention death.
You know what the euros? I will not fail to take. I will forget. Then that day you will sleep, and that day you will go for medications, maybe being a pastor, and all that. So I'll remain at home maybe with my elder sibling or the younger one. Let me tell you the truth. As a child, I've been longing for you to be away to miss these drugs.
So that I die.
Not that I die, I'm just tired.
You are tired. Actually, they get tired, Spain.
Then, it's true.
They get tired.
Because you've gone to Acacia, I will not take a turn. Tomorrow I will wake up not dead. Trust me, your trick is gone. That child knows very well that, hey, I will not die. I did not die that day. He or she will repeat it some other day. They will not die. They will not die. They will not wake up sick. So give the right information. If you don't take this medication, after a given time, you may fall sick. Talk about sickness. I think leave death to God.
Leave it to God.
Leave it to God. You will develop, you will grow weak, and you will not have a healthy growth. It will interfere with even your skin. You're giving things that ataona in future. This is somebody who can see these things in future. So when you're talking about disclosure to a child, please have the right information.
And that one also brings me back to the forms of disclosure, whereby you touched on assisted. So maybe somebody is out there and asking, now I have a child who was born HIV positive, and say you are the caregiver or you are a mother, you are a partial. We have, you are paired. You are paired. You are a parent. That is. So maybe you are asking yourself now, at what age should I begin telling my child that you know what, my child, you are HIV positive. I gave back to you HIV positive, infected. So that is why it brings me back to the assisted, whereby you can come to the clinic, and then
basically where you do take your medication.
Where you do take your medication.
Because they'll be in a position to follow you up.
We know everything. So it is good that if you are not able to disclose to that child and telling the truth, just seek help, go to the facility where you are taking your medication, and the healthcare provider will be able to assist you disclose to your child.
True, because
together with your support.
Exactly,
because it will be from your consent, or
it's your initiative.
Yeah, initiative.
It's you to do
Yeah.
it. Don't let other people to do it for you, because they might not do it. You understand your child, and what we may understand is the age of the child and the requirements for that age, the language to use at that age, and basically if there are developmental milestones, if they're in a position
to understand what
interpret
you're
whatever
talking about.
Yes, and that's why
Yeah.
we're talking about a language.
Yeah.
But basically at the age of 5, a parent should be in a position to start. At the age of 9, you should be in a position now to start introducing hard words now,
Yeah,
facing
exactly.
reality. At the age of 10, 11, 12, please, anafaa kujua.
Yeah, that child is supposed to know
that process
his
should
or
be
her
complete.
full status.
Yes, and what is
Yeah,
required.
and what is
and
required
the
of
truth
him.
about it. Simply
Yeah.
because they are getting into the adolescent age,
Exactly.
where it is met with a lot of testing, a lot of peer pressure, a lot of rebellion, a lot of blame.
Yeah.
And the parents that are receiving blame, I know it is painful, but sometimes it is the parent initiated blame, because you had all the time to do this, but it did not happen.
Yeah.
So we'll be in a position again to go back and talk about this, and maybe to even to get we will find some few visitors who will come and maybe just demonstrate to us how best we can do a disclosure process, and takes us to the last
level, which is full disclosure. Yeah, so this
where now information is information.
Information is real now.
You have HIV.
My child,
Yes.
my husband, my friends.
I'm HIV positive.
I am HIV positive.
And I'm on ARVs.
I'm on ARVs.
I'm on follow-up at Kisi Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Exactly.
Kisi County.
Yeah, so that is full disclosure.
Yes.
Whereby you are giving, it means that you are giving more HIV related what?
Yes.
Details.
Information. You're getting into details.
How it
now
it was, I mean how it
even
was
transmission. You're
transmitted,
talking about transmission.
and how even if it's your child, how the child might have contacted the
Yes.
HIV. Yeah, so it is full.
It is full information. You're even talking
You're
about
telling
prevention.
the truth.
You're talking about everything. You're even inviting the same guy for a test. You're even bringing the same person to be your treatment supporter.
Exactly.
Yeah, every information is given. The information about germs that we talked about now changes to HIV virus. Now you are introducing the word virus.
Yeah.
The soldiers that we're talking about, we're now talking about CD4.
Yeah.
We are talking about your immunity.
That is when you are able to give full information about
we are now
yourself.
talking about viral load.
Yeah.
We are talking about information the way it is. We are looking at safe sex practices and everything surrounding HIV.
Yeah.
That would bring us to the 5 whys.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Spam. The 5 whys. Before we mention the 5 whys, I just wanted our viewers to know that when disclosing your HIV status, we are going to consider those.
Yes.
The 5 whys, they are very important. Yeah, so it is only that before you, when you are HIV positive, and now you are in a state of telling you are or revealing your status.
Yes.
Of which we found in level of disclosure, full disclosure. Now I am HIV positive, and I have decided that I want to reveal my status.
Yes.
So we are going to consider the 5 whys,
Yes.
of which number 1 why says, what do you want to tell them about your HIV infection? Yeah, just you think, I am going to do full disclosure.
Yes.
What am I going to tell them?
What do I want to tell them?
What do I want to tell them about my infection?
Maybe I don't want to tell them about how I got the infection.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
you
I
have
don't want to talk
think.
about my stage. Maybe I don't want to talk about even HIV itself.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to talk about. Maybe I just want to come and have a different identity and talk about somebody else. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, what do you want to tell them?
Yes.
Then that one also brings us to the second why. What are you expecting from the people you are
disclosing.
disclosing your HIV
Yes.
status to. Yeah, because this is a family. Maybe it's your partner. You've been infected. You are on medication. Your
Yes.
partner is not aware. Your family, maybe your children. Now, before you do this full disclosure, you have to think, what are they going to expect? I
Yes.
mean, what are you expecting
From
from them?
Do you expect
Do you
rejection?
expect rejection?
Do you expect them to listen?
to embrace you?
What do you expect?
What do you expect
It's
at
like-
that particular time?
It's like setting what researchers would sorry for that. What researchers would basically call hypothesis. It's like you're setting your hypothesis and you're going to test your hypothesis.
Yeah.
So what do you really want? It's like you're asking yourself, or you are all playing within you, that if in any case I talk about my status
Going
to
dark.
yeah, I know it's about power.
Yeah.
If I tell so and so about my status, how would this person respond? Then you become that person and ask you, ulitoa wapi? How did it happen?
How
What do
did
you
it happen?
expect?
Yeah, what
must
do you
prepare
expect?
yourself.
You must
Yes.
prepare yourself. And now, when should you tell them? Yeah, before you do full disclosure, when should you tell them? Are you supposed to tell them when people are eating, when you are sleeping?
Yes.
When you've gone for a vacation, you are very happy there, and everything is just okay.
Yes.
So before you do the full disclosure, you have to think to yourself,
Yes.
when should I tell these people? You can, you are HIV positive and you've been on medication.
Yes.
Yeah, you can think for yourself.
Yes.
What is the best time? Yeah, for me to tell them.
When
And
to tell
where is the best place to have this conversation? Yeah. And lastly, why are you telling them?
Wow. Where is the best place to have this
Where?
conversation? I think that one has caught my attention.
Yes.
The African. I know the example I'm going to give might not really fit everybody, but the African way.
Thank you so much, Edwin, for tuning in. We are happy to have you with us.
And that must
Yeah.
be Edwin from Etago, or where?
Edwin, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Edwin. Eros Leader, thank you so much for your contribution. David, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Generally, before you actually after considering the 5 words, you can as well summarize this in your own language.
Yeah.
And if you're noting or if you're writing down, you can talk about when. And when basically talks about time.
Yeah.
When do you want?
Time.
At what stage? At what point in time do you want to sit down and
Yeah.
talk about your status? And is it after I've started medication? Is it before I start medication?
Yeah.
Is it after I'm into this relationship? Or is it before I enter this relationship?
Yeah. When? Or in the facility.
When do you want in terms of time?
Yeah.
When do you want it to be done? Where basically talks about your environment. Do you want it to be done at the facility? Do you want to work with your partner and test together?
Yeah.
Do you want to come with your child for the same?
Exactly.
Do you want to be assisted at the facility level? Do you want to do it in a church? And I think I want to to have my reservation about the church. Do you want
Just
to do a
talk about
testimony?
the church. I'm here.
Do you want just to go talk about a testimony? Do you want
Yeah.
to make it a testimony?
Yeah. In the
Do
church.
you want to do it during a church service? Get to know where you want.
Yeah.
It's very important. Is it at home? Is it when you've gone for your picnic?
Exactly.
Is it during your honeymoon when you're sure that this guy is not going away? Where do you want to do
Yeah.
disclosure?
Yeah. You have to find time.
And how do you want to do it? I think that is equally very important. Do you want to text?
No. Before even you go
Yes.
to house, Spain, you've talked about time.
Yes,
Where?
we talk time and where.
Time.
Yeah,
Now,
when
to
and
who?
where. Two is coming next. Two is coming next.
All right.
I said last time that
Yeah.
in my village, you would say that you are stealing the run. But anyway, continue stealing.
Yeah, I'm stealing.
We will disqualify you. So how do you want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to send a phone message?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to call somebody over the phone?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to start crying, then somebody asks you, why are you crying? I'm HIV positive.
How would be, how?
Do you want to pretend that you are too sick so that they admit you? You know very well that they will not run away when you are at the hospital ward, so that you tell them about your status.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Do you want to sit with your child down,
Yeah.
do a decent meal,
Mm-hmm.
eat together, introduce this information? Do you want to prepare your bedroom so well?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk to him when he's sober?
Or her.
Do you want to go and take alcohol? Or, okay.
You are
do you want
just,
to talk?
yeah, talk to him or talk to her.
Yes, thank you so much. Do you want to go and take alcohol?
Yeah.
So that
you come and
you put words on top of alcohol.
yourself.
You want alcohol to provoke you. We say that you put words. You say that it is alcohol. That was not me. But tomorrow, remember you will be the same person
sober.
who, yes, you will sober up. So how do you want to do it also matters
Yes.
a lot.
Exactly.
Please choose a method that suits you. But there are things that will end up destroying you. Be sober.
Yeah.
I think the when, where, and how must be with a sober choice,
With a sober
mind.
Yeah.
Be sober. Another thing that you must answer yourself is the why. I think the why bit of it is: are there reasons? Is there any importance? Look at the importance of disclosing versus the disadvantages. If disadvantages outweighs advantages, don't allow me to tell that person that is listening to me, don't disclose your status.
If you've just sat down and you've thought of everything, just as Pam is bringing it home.
Because some of us are in very funny relationships.
Very funny relationships and
some
very
of us
funny
in a
families.
very funny family setups.
Yeah.
Some of us are in a society where HIV is, I was giving an example of Northeastern, where they, at a point, they used to stone. They could stone you. So, anyway, it's a tricky affair. But why do you really want to do it?
Yeah, why?
Are there things that you want to achieve? Do you want somebody to support you during treatment? Do you want to do it to your child so that you prevent blame games? Do you want to save your marriage by doing what? Disclosing your status.
Exactly.
Do you want to really know, before I get into this relationship, let me know how this guy is going to handle, or how this lady is going to handle tough times. Let me find out if this is true love. Because, giving an example of a relationship, I would rather lose it at the beginning than losing it after 5 years with maybe a number of children.
Exactly.
So, why do you want to do it matters a lot. Basically, talk about children. It is important to initiate it at that age. It is their right to know about their health status. When you have a partner, it is important that you consider whether disclosing or not disclosing is important to you. That is a personal choice. We can talk about it again at personal level. But if there is need to talk about it live on Facebook, again, we can still come back and talk about it. But why do you want to do it must guide you.
Exactly.
And to who?
To who?
I think that is where you wanted us to reach.
Yeah.
Now that you stole the run, I'm back with the run.
Yeah, to who?
Whom do you want to disclose your status to?
Whom?
Is this your partner or your boss? Does those people deserve? I think that is important.
Is it your child, your friend, your mother,
whoever
your
you want? Exactly. Family members and all that. Do they deserve to know your status? Must run in your brain as you're doing it.
Exactly.
Do they deserve to be part of your story? Do they deserve to be part of your health issues?
Exactly.
Is there anything that you're going to get from them? Who is this person to you? I want to give an example of that one is bad. I don't know why I have bad examples. You have a good example of who, and that person must be a wrong person. But let me give my bad example.
Yeah.
I've just met a lady today. Being a man, I'm talking of, okay, not a lady. I've gotten a partner today.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the sex of the partner, just to take care of each and every viewer.
Yeah.
And I'm there. By the way, how are you? You know me, I'm HIV possible, positive, and I love you, I want you. Does that person deserve to know your status?
Yeah.
Why? You know, we are meeting along the highway. Yes. and I'm like, hey, this guy looks good, but I look like I want to date this person. So how are you? You look good. You know me, I'm HIV positive. I love you. I want you. Please just love me. You know, I will not infect you. That person, for me, I don't know.
I highly doubt if that is the right person, and I also highly doubt if it is the right time
Exactly.
to reveal.
Oh wow! You also talked about time. Look at this example again.
Yeah.
You're my child. We are in an institution. Nakushika mkono, naenda kwa headmaster.
Yeah.
My child is HIV positive. My child is HIV positive. Take care of this child.
No.
Is it the right way?
No.
Is that the right person? Okay, there are incidences where maybe a school principal, a matron, the whole person must be vetted in short. It's not about leadership.
Yeah.
You don't disclose to a principal because he's a leader.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't disclose to a boss because he's a boss.
Yeah. It's your personal issue.
It's your personal issue.
It is your personal
And I think
issue.
up to there, having remained with the benefits and even the disadvantages, but before we look at that, there are other things that would prevent somebody, which are basically the barriers.
Yeah.
Let me just look at my time. I think our time is much gone. We may need to stop.
Yeah, maybe we can just look at the barriers to disclosure.
Next my thinking.
What is the time? It is 4.
Yes.
No, let's go even up to 4. What? It is 4? Yeah, 4:25.
Kindly be requesting for 5 minutes just to look at the barriers.
Yeah.
There are certain barriers that would basically prevent you from disclosing your status, or from your status being disclosed to a different person, or from disclosing your status to a child.
Yeah.
And I'll basically start with what would prevent you from disclosing your status, from disclosing a child's status, or from talking about his status, or telling her or him about his status. Matters the age. It is very important. We must really look at age. It could be a barrier, and it must be a consideration also. It's a barrier, and at the same time, it's a consideration. Somebody below 5 years, or maybe 3-4 years, or even 1-2 years, may not be in a position to have this information. So don't blame yourself if you've not started this conversation at home. Please just prepare yourself. You still have time to prepare. But again, if you think your child at 4 or 3 is in a position to start asking you questions, please consider the language that you're using. Don't introduce the language that you talked about, HIV and all that. Don't introduce that. They might be asking you, why am I taking medication on a daily basis? Mimi nameza dawa kila siku. Yes, talk about something that you think will keep the child going, but don't lie.
Don't lie to the child. Don't put big diseases on the child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's the fear of self-blame. And anxiety, the fear of being discriminated,
exactly,
the fear of feeling hopeless. I'm told, or I know, or I've seen, or I've experienced in some occasion where somebody has tested positive, they become so much helpless, and they start judging themselves and all that. So the fear of becoming so anxious about yourself, thinking about death and all that, may prevent you. Somebody can be too sick.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is Rose? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We talked about don't give the entire story. Why can't you just handle what has brought the client?
Yeah.
Please, when somebody is too sick, that is a barrier. It can prevent. Somebody may not be in a position to get that information, or may not be in a position to talk about that information. The fear of being isolated or being rejected is equally a painful bit of it. There's the lack of skill. You just don't have the language. You don't have. You
don't know how to begin.
You've not talked about when, where, how, why, and to who. You've not answered those questions.
Exactly.
So you don't have the skills even to approach them. You don't know where to begin. Can be a barrier also. The attitude, and most of this attitude may come from even the healthcare providers. They might present with a very bad attitude that makes you, the more, actually, if you show me attitude and more so against my status, trust me, I'll feel so less, and I will not talk about my status anywhere. Exactly. Because if my status made a doctor, and I want you to have it in quote, a doctor, daktari, discriminated me based on my, or showed me attitude based on my status, I may not be in a position to share those status with anybody else. The fear of post disclosure outcomes, I think that is what we talked about. discrimination and all that. There's the taboo and religion.
Exactly.
In my church, we don't get sick, so you cannot talk about sickness. There's the taboo of let me go to the lakeside. They say that is chira. I think chira is documented in books.
Yeah.
Taboo, basically a taboo.
Chira is a taboo.
It's a taboo. It's a bad omen, more of a curse. You
cultural,
should talk about
yeah.
it. It's something that you should not talk about in public.
In public.
That can also prevent you from talking about your status or talking about somebody's status.
Yeah.
There's the bit of self-denial.
Yeah.
And actually remember when you receive, and I think we'll create time and talk about loss and grief cycle.
Yeah.
The moment you receive your status today, I know there's the loss of status, and you are undergoing a cycle. And in that cycle, there's a shock bit of it that you receive, and now you're denying the fact that you're positive. You've not accepted the fact that you're positive. You're still bargaining with yourself.
Yeah.
You've not come in terms with what you're seeing. I think that also can basically prevent you from getting to know your, as in from sharing your status. There's the stigma surrounding HIV, and basically this one I always give an example of our education system. Me, when I was in the lower primary or the lower level, I was in some village.
Yeah.
Where we used to go to school with barefooted.
Barefooted.
But I was lucky I got some shoe. But because of the state of the school, everybody was barefoot. So nikifika kwa gate, I removed the shoes, put them in my bag, because everybody would be looking at me. So but then I do remember
maybe
those.
for boys, but for girls,
For girls they used to be given sandals. Actually, they were called sandak.
We would love to go with the shoes and show everybody that we have them.
But anyway, the education system has really done a lot, both good and bad. Me, I learned about HIV as a killer disease. I did not learn about it about the same way we are handling it now. Honestly, I learned about it as a killer disease. I remember we were some skull, some bone. Actually, there was a skull, then crossed with some bones, and that skull had some dark eye. It was hollow, just to show how AIDS is. By then, the language that they were using, and then there was a documentation in red that AIDS kills. So remember, that is the kind of stigma that HIV came with. As in, that is the kind of information that we first received. So I think that bit alone has really affected us, has really interfered with a lot of things. So stigma surrounding HIV, the way it was even brought into the nation. Yeah, and even discrimination. It was so bad. Even the way discriminated, you are being separated from the barrier process. Actually by then there was this vehicle. It looks like a wish. Msafiri. You could be put there, wrapped in a black, whatever. They could bury you at night. Yeah. So the way HIV was introduced, actually, was even so in our education, very scary. It was a death sentence. It was a death sentence. So people are still googling those information. People still have those information. Yeah. And I want to believe that our education system has not really reached the level of correcting this information very fast. So there are people that still think about HIV as a killer disease, as a very bad thing, and so I would not want to talk about my status. So those could be the few barriers that somebody would talk about. Myths and misconception, so many things. A person of my caliber, my work, your lifestyle, your family structure, me, my family, we don't love each other, and all that, relationships, my marriage is just scattered, my child is stubborn, my child is too young to understand, my institution is like this and this, that hospital, I can't go to that hospital because my relative is there, so I can't go and take medication. There are so many things that basically would really prevent you from going for and even for testing and even disclosing your status. So those are the few barriers that we want to talk about. I think next time we'll be able to build on this.
Thank you very much, Pam. Because of time, we won't tackle the benefits of disclosure. Remember, each and everything, there is benefits, there is consequences. So next week on Friday, we will begin by seeing the importance, the benefits of disclosing your status. and
basically
maybe
talk about
the
post-disclosure.
post-disclosures.
The bit of post-disclosure.
Yeah, the bit of it. And again, I would request our viewers that whatever you didn't understand, please just put it there.
Yes.
We are ensuring you that we will be looking at them, and next Friday we will be able to begin tackling them before
Yes.
we go to the benefits and consequences of disclosing your HIV status. Yeah.
Yes, and just to remind the viewers again, once again, I want to mention this. Thank you so much, Chelule. I want to believe that I've mentioned your name vizuri. Chelule, thank you so much. That's a nice name.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's okay. Chelule, thank you, Chelule. Then there's Eric Bosire. Kindly, thank you so much. Both of them are saying that this is so educative and let us keep up the pace.
Thank you.
Just to remind us again, the viewers, kindly, the purpose of us coming up with the Heroes Voice Corner again, the mission and the vision ideally is to create the health-seeking behavior.
Exactly.
We want you guys to seek these health services.
Exactly.
Don't sit there and wait for maybe health providers to look for you. Don't wait for sickness. Don't wait for anything. Just walk into a clinic and get to know about your status. Get to know about so many things. Get to know about your blood pressure, your blood sugars, everything. It's just to create a health-seeking behavior, something that is sustainable, so that we stop struggling. The country is struggling. Families are struggling. They're even struggling with you today because you're sick. You're even struggling with your own self because you cannot talk about this information at home. They're struggling. You are struggling. We are struggling. Everybody's struggling. We are not suppressing the virus. We are not retaining ourselves into care. Everything is not in the place where it's supposed to be. So we want you to get this information, learn, get to know the importance, get to know the risks of doing certain things, so that you just come on your own and seek this help services.
Yeah, and you know what, by seeking help reduces the cost of impact of illness, and allows more people to thrive and flourish and contribute to a more positive society.
True.
Yeah. So if you want
growth, you need help.
You need help, and you
physical
need
growth and even wealth.
Yeah, because there is, like Spem, you said before that when HIV came, you know, it was a very scary thing.
Yes.
It was related to death. Nowadays, HIV is not related to death because we have medication,
and very soon we're going to stop talking about AIDS and talk about HIV status.
Exactly.
And that's all. I think we can appreciate today.
Yeah, we want to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers for staying tuned until the end of the discussion. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. And we want to say that we love you so much. We want to acknowledge the presence of
let me start with your family.
My family first.
Yes.
Thank you because you've been there.
Yes.
Actually, you've been there at the right time.
Okay.
And supporting us. We thank you so much.
I want also to appreciate our viewers. I may not be able to mention everybody, but everybody that came live, everybody that has commented, thank you so much for being part of us. Thank you so much. I want to still send my gratitude to the Casco and the Kisi government itself, the health sector, the Department of Health. I want to appreciate HEMA Hospital. I want to appreciate Kisi Teaching and Referral Hospital for giving us this opportunity. I want to appreciate UNB led by Dr. Angela. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to send my personal gratitude also to Anwa Silwa. Actually, today we are live because of her. Yes.
Thank you so much, Anne, wherever you are.
Today, just know that this data was paid for.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Noel from UMB. I know you are watching.
Yes, thank you so much. And finally, today, we want to make a special request and thank one of our visitors. And one of actually team members, but operating from so far. She's one of us. She's been very instrumental.
Exactly.
We've never mentioned her, but today, thank you so much.
That is none other than Roslida Obare, all the way from US.
Yes.
You are so supportive. We love you so much.
Yes.
And keep being with us, keep advising us,
Yes.
keep directing us to the right direction. And
Thank
we
you so
want to
much.
say that we love you so much, Roslida.
I also want to thank my brother from Marsabit. Thank you so much. If you can log in from Marsabit, there is a total sacrifice.
Yeah.
I know issues to do with the network and all that. Thank you so much, my brother, and send this message. Thank you again for. There's another guy that has just decided to use a phone just to ensure that a number of health providers are tuned in Siaya. That is Otieno, the Siaya.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wasike.
Yeah.
Honestly, thank you so much, and may God bless you. Thank you for
Thank you
supporting
so
us.
much, our colleague Sandra Otete.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Those are our colleagues.
Yes.
And we love you. And we want to say that on Friday at 3 p.m. we will be discussing about the benefits of disclosure, and we will see how it is important to disclose.
The importance, the disadvantages, and God willing, we may need to talk about HIV treatment. But before that, we still tackle. Oh no! Wow. I'll tell you what we are going to discuss next time. So thank you so much. But just get to know that we'll finish up with disclosure. If there are other concerns that are coming out, kindly, just let us know and let's address the same. Thank you so much. May God bless you. For Kenyan population, Africa, part of Africa, Eastern Africa, have a nice evening.
And wherever you're watching, thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you and bye.
Bye.